Now, WJZ's Purple Playbook brought to you by M&T Bank.
This is Purple Playbook. I'm Alex Glaze alongside Rick Ritter, two-time Super Bowl champion Torrey Smith, and Isaiah Likely, coming to you from Jimmy's Famous Seafood. Guys, a lot to get to over the next 30 minutes. Isaiah, this is, I think, the first time we've talked to you since you've gotten some game action. Just how did it feel to finally get back out there and get back on the field?
It felt good. I mean, finally getting back out there, finally getting to be able to play with my brothers, really just getting my feet up under me. I feel great.
Feel like you're 100% right now that you got in for a couple weeks and you're kind of getting back into game shape?
For sure. I mean, finally getting, get hit by somebody else. I mean, it's always, one step in practice, but finally getting to be able to get hit by somebody, feel what it feels like, play football again, felt good.
Torrey, injuries have been such a big theme this year for this Ravens team. Just to get a guy like Likely back, just what can you see that doing for the offense as they look to try to get their feet under them a little bit?
I mean, it's huge. This offense that is best when all their tight ends are available, right? There's so many different things you can do because Isaiah is a tight end by nature, but he has the skills of a receiver. So it creates matchup problems for defensive coordinators to deal with. And, the offense has always been more dynamic with that three tight end package. So that's something that was missing for sure, missing the big fullback to kind of complete the trifecta of what this offense kind of needs back. But the reality of it is having Isaiah on the field, you have a better chance.
Yeah, Isaiah, let's not sugarcoat it. The injuries are pretty bad right now, right? It's pretty bad. None more important than Lamar Jackson, obviously missing last week. Status still up in the air for this week. But when you guys are out there and you have Cooper Rush, a guy who's been there, he's won, he's done that. Just kind of, how much confidence do you guys have in that guy? Because I've talked with guys like Bate and Zay, and they're saying that they can win or lose with any of those guys that are in the locker room. There's a lot of confidence in Cooper Rush. Just how much confidence do you feel in him?
I mean, I feel like we have great confidence. I mean, but like you said, like not having Lamar out there with us, I mean, that just tells everybody to step it up a notch. I mean, obviously, Eight's a superhero with the ball in his hand, being out there with him, I mean, everybody's job gets a little easier, but understanding that, since Eight's not out there and Coop is new to the offense, new to the players, I mean, everybody that is a quote-unquote playmaker in the offense just knows that, the type of load that you used to have just got a little bit heavier just because Lamar's just not out there. I mean, just being able to help Cooper, be Cooper, take the stress off, whether it's a coverage, whether it's a run play, whether it's, just trying to get the ball out fast and make a play for him. That's just, the mantra you just got to have.
I was going to say, you talk about adversity. I mean, you guys have been hit with more adversity than any team so far this season, depleted by injuries, couple of losses in a row. The defense is trying to find its way. What are you saying in the locker room? How tight are you guys right now?
I say really just getting back to the fundamentals. I mean, everybody just got to realize your 111 matters. And I feel like that's just where everybody's at. I mean, everybody's at the point now where you just got to look in the mirror and ask yourself on a day-to-day, are you doing the best that you can to win that game? And I feel like, letting coaches coach, letting players play, and then really just, when you looked at yourself, just are you doing what's best for you in that situation, in that game, in that play, to get to the point where it's 7 on the board, where it's 3 in that situation, where it's the best possibility to have at the end of that drive.
I can't recall a time where injuries have been this bad here. But Torrey, you've been on a couple teams that have been bitten by the injury bug and have overcome that. Just kind of what did it take to get through those times when you have some of those key players that are down?
Yeah, you always say next man up, right? That's a saying, but it's also a real thing and the reality of what you have to do. You can't sit there and cry and complain because your help is not coming, right? You already have the best possible roster you have. At this time of the season, yes, a couple things may happen, but there's not going to be a drastic change. I mean, the year we won the Super Bowl here, there were multiple injuries, and guys had to step up. So I think sometimes you got to try to remember the positives in situations. We had a stretch at the end of the season where I believe we went 1-5, or we won 1 out of maybe our last 5 games. So, we had a pretty rough patch as well. But when it comes to injuries, it's like, what guy is going to take advantage of their opportunity? I remember Pernell McPhee, a guy many people didn't necessarily know, but a couple injuries go, and now all of a sudden he's balling out of his mind. Arthur Jones, RIP to Arthur. Arthur is a guy that had an opportunity to step up. You talk about Daniel Ellerbe, right? Ray Lewis goes down. he steps in. He has his opportunity. So oftentimes, you don't know who the next star is, and you're panicking like, oh, they're not there. Then someone gets that chance, and they go out there and take full advantage. And I think it's easy to look at what you see and say, hey, the last week was probably one of the worst games that we've seen here in a while. But the reality of it is when they're healthy, the answers are there. I've been on teams where we were healthy, but we were sorry, right? You know what I mean? Like, this team is not healthy, and they sorry, respectfully, right? This team is not healthy, but they need they have guys, the roster is there. The pieces are there. They just have to be able to step up and try to take their time to really try to get to this bye week so that guys can recover and get back and get on the field.
How important is leadership in that moment? Not even from coaches. I'm talking like players and guys stepping up and leading their guys through those tough moments.
Oh, it's huge. It's no one wants to hear a bunch of rah-rah, right? Like, it's only but so many motivational speeches you can have when you're losing, right? It's like, all right, dog, at some point, these speeches are what they are. Who's going to get it done? Are you going to do your job? Because when I look at this film, you're not doing it, right? Accountability is bigger than speeches, right? And at some point, like, I'm telling you, I'm a guy like, listen, I don't have to keep hearing Ray Lewis-type speeches, even though Ray Lewis was awesome at giving them. Are you doing your job? Right? Am I doing my job? And like Isaiah said, you got to look yourself in the mirror. And at the end of the day, I say there's no such thing as a bad play call if we make it work. Right? And there's no such thing as not having enough if we go out there and we get it done. So it's about trying to take it one game at a time, one day at a time, one game at a time, trying to figure out a way to get in the winning column and then take it, like they say, 1 week at a time. It's not a cliche thing.
Yeah.
When you're here, you have to focus on that.
I was going to say, you think about the 2012 Super Bowl that the Ravens won, dealing with all that adversity. Don't forget Philadelphia, too, when you guys lost Carson Wentz. So, Isaiah, for you guys in the locker room, you understand that there's still plenty of time to right the ship here on this thing?
For sure. I mean, and that's just going back to understanding, obviously, like what Torrey was saying, like just the want-to-know mentality, but also knowing that we still only play one divisional game. So, like, we still have so much to really look forward to after the bye. I mean, it was really a blessing and a curse. A curse when we first got the schedule, just seeing that the bye week was so early, but now getting into the season, you see how much of a blessing it is with all the injuries we have now.
Absolutely. Five division games still on the schedule, so obviously a lot of football still ahead for this Ravens team. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the big trade that went down this week and some of the new players that have joined this Ravens team when Purple Playbook continues.
This is the Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. The winning prognosis, brought to you by LifeBridge Health. Care bravely.
And welcome back to Purple Playbook, coming to you from Jimmy's Famous Seafood. Big trade this week. Odafe Owe traded to L.A. In return, getting a safety, Alohi Gilman. Also adding another safety as well, C.J. Gardner-Johnson joining this team. Isaiah, you got a chance to look at these guys in practice. They're already out on the practice field, obviously a good sign. Just what have you seen from those guys since they've joined here?
I really say just a vet presence. I mean, it's just always good to have Malachi have an extra ear to listen to and really just to play off of. I mean, Kyle is Kyle. I mean, everybody understands that Kyle is just also freaking nature when he gets out there on the football field. It's hard to kind of mimic Kyle. So hearing other people's play styles, how they play, and also just being able to watch their film on other teams and really just how they practice coming in just gives them another point of view.
He mentions winner. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's been to Super Bowls 2 of the last 3 seasons, had that season with Detroit in the middle, the other 2 with Philly, of course. Dude's a winner. And he's not afraid to show his true personality, is what we'll say. So when you sit back and you look at a veteran coming in like this who is a proven winner, what are you most excited about to see him now in the purple and black?
The energy that he brings. That's not to say this team doesn't have guys that are passionate about playing, because they do. But CJ brings a different type of energy. The energy that you got to bottle him up and make sure he's not getting in trouble energy. And I think every team needs a little bit of that, right? You need someone that's going to push people, that's going to challenge people. And he's a good fit here because the culture is strong enough to handle him. Coach Harbaugh as a coach is strong enough to let him be his own person. And a lot of teams can't handle that. So the culture here, the veteran presence here is great. He's going to be an aggressive player, a physical player, and you can't have enough of them on your roster.
And Isaiah, you have a unique perspective. You played against him in Philly, or when Philly came here last year. What's it like going against CJ? And I guess are you happy now he's on your side?
For sure. I mean, I played against both of them. I mean, when I played CJ against Philly, I mean, it was just like an instant, like just knowing, the type of like Torrey said, the energy. Like out there, he gonna let you know where he is every play about it, and I loved it. I mean, just having him out there talk the whole game, and then come in the locker room and then telling me the type of player he saw I was, and everything is all love. Just knowing that, it's all love, and he don't care who you are, what you've done. Like you gonna get CJ every snap, and then with I don't know how to pronounce Brett's name. Aloha, like he played for the Chargers. He talked a little too. Like I didn't even know. Like when we played him, he talked a little bit. I mean, he was also a heat-seeking missile out there when we played him. So having both of them being just really energy to the defense is definitely gonna be good.
We were just talking between the break. We weren't aware that you're a huge smack talker. You kind of told on yourself on that one. That's not a bad thing though.
Nah, I mean, when I'm out there, I'll be playing in my own, between the white lines, I'm a different guy.
I lied. I think it actually might be Alohi. Now that I'm thinking about it. But Torrey, we're talking about these additions. Just how do you see them kind of freeing things up in that secondary? Obviously, the goal to be able to move Kyle Hamilton around, use him like the chess piece that he is, and have him be versatile. Just how do you see these additions at safety? That tells me that that's kind of the goal here, to move Hamilton around a little bit.
Yeah, that third safety's kind of been missing for a while, and due to injury, right? And now you add these guys, it does allow Kyle to be able to move around. People don't realize how much of a weapon he is, his ability to aid in this pass rush that has been missing, his ability to impact the run game. Like, he was a ball machine last year. Like, he's all over the place making plays. So I think for him, like, just allowing your best player on the defense to be moved all around, that makes it very difficult for the offensive coordinator. And it makes the defense less predictable in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying it is, because it's definitely not. They're showing a lot of different coverages. They're rocking and rolling. They're blitzing. They're giving false blitzes. But, again, allowing your best player to be a playmaker is a big deal.
They've been lacking pass rush this year. That's no secret. So you lose Owe now. You become a little more thin on the edge. I think there's a lot of media reports. Everybody kind of wondering, are the Ravens going to make a bigger move with kind of shed? Look at those eyes.
Yeah. I don't know anything. I don't know. You think like that. I do know Eric DeCosta is similar to a guy in Philly named Howie Rosen, who will trade you if he sees value in it. The difference with all that told me is that trade, I don't necessarily predict the move on the horizon. There could be, right? Because the Ravens have never been a team that's tried to force anything. However, it was clear that Adafe wasn't going to get the long-term extension. So if you have a chance to get value from him, by the way, he gets traded to a GM who knows him very well from his time in Baltimore, it's actually a great fresh start for him as well. So I think a move would be nice, but I don't know who's out there. You got to say the Ravens way, right player, right price. I'm not sure who that guy is and who Eric DeCosta can try to finesse. But to me, what I'm looking at, I don't necessarily see a guy that I can say, hey, that's who they're going to go after.
Isaiah Adafe is a guy that was a double-digit sack guy last year, coming off his best season as a pro. What were the vibes in the locker room when that trade went down? I mean, obviously he hasn't had the year that he was probably expecting coming into it, but no, that's a big guy to lose, a big locker room presence.
For sure. And I mean, like, I'm pretty sure he got traded by the time we were done, like, for the day. So it was more so like today. I mean, you hate to see one of your brothers go, but you obviously wish him all the best, hope that, he reaches potential, shoots for the stars, and keeps putting good things on film. And I feel like just, the younger guys that obviously looked up to him, like Jabo, Mike Green, even the conversation he used to have with Van Noy. I mean, just hoping that, they saw the good things that he was able to do, his habits, be able to, help this team in the long haul, but also, wishing Dafe nothing but the best.
And Torrey, we kind of were talking a little bit before we came back here. I saw CJ earlier in the week, just kind of holding court a little bit with some of the other DBs, Kyle Hamilton and Malachi Starks. Just what does that tell you about the kind of player that they're getting day one? He's coming in the room and he's holding court.
Yeah, I mean, you have an alpha right away, a guy who's been there, a guy that wants to win. He knows how to win, and he's going to challenge you. So that's not going to do anything but fire up that secondary.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have more Purple Playbook coming to you from Jimmy's Famous Seafood.
This is the Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. The Bottom Line, brought to you by M&T Bank.
And welcome back to Purple Playbook. Getting ready for a tough opponent here, the Rams coming into Baltimore. Isaiah, I'm sure you've started looking at some Rams film. Just kind of what stands out to you about that defense?
I say they're motor. I mean, I feel like all 11 really fly around the ball. They have a young group, a young core that they really get after. I mean, I feel like their premier guy over there that they try to free up most of the time is Verse. I mean, that's no surprise to nobody. But Young on the other side is really the other guy that's really been winning his one-on-ones due to Verse getting chipped. So just really taking care of the D-line and really just showing just the offense just being where our feet are, trying to get play after play after play, stacking, and really just get into the end zone.
You think you're going to find yourself helping more out with a guy like Verse chipping on the end and then going out?
I say really just wherever they need me. I mean, I feel like, being a tight end, obviously having a premier, pass rusher on another team that you obviously know that your job is going to be to help as much as possible, whether it's in the run game, in the pass game, whether it's chip blocks, whether you guys stay there and get another help by another tight end, but really just making your plays when the plays come.
And Torrey, just kind of when you look at this Rams team coming in here, Thursday night, they got shocked a little bit by the Niners, a shorthanded Niners team. So they're going to come in. This Ravens team going to be a little shorthanded again. Just no surprises. They're not overlooking this team. Just kind of what does that tell you about their mindset potentially coming into this game?
Yeah, this Rams team can play, right? I think they are well coached. They have a Super Bowl winning coach there as well. He understands you have to take it week by week. And it's a big trip across the country here for them. So they're going to be motivated trying to get their next win, just like the Ravens are. The one thing they have there, you talk about veteran leaders on this team, Matthew Stafford is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the history of the NFL.
He still gets under center, too.
Right, he does. Old school, right? He does a little bit of everything. I mean, he's playing at a very high level still. Puka Nacua, his receiver, out there, looks like he's on track to potentially challenge the receiving yards record. I mean, they have some weapons over there, so it's not like it's going to get any easier for the Ravens coming in, but that's NFL football. And I think anyone coming into the season, when you looked at the schedule, you knew this was going to be there. I think it's less about what the Rams have to offer, and it's more about how the Ravens come out ready to play. And I still maintain no one can beat the Ravens but the Ravens, right? When you talk about the pedigree it has, the team, the personnel, it's just simply about trying to get off on a great start, get the core of this team, the heart of this team is the heart and soul of the Baltimore Ravens is being physical, right? Getting back to being physical, being dominant, controlling the line of scrimmage, and running the ball on offense, right? When these things get to going, the team's going to be hard to beat. I think this is a great week to get it back going.
I was going to say, what do you guys need to do to get this offense back going? Isaiah, what do you start with? Does it start through the run? I mean, obviously it's a little different, of course, a lot different with Cooper back there from an athletic standpoint, being mobile. What do you guys need to do to start fast this week?
I say, it's no surprise to everybody. You always want to get deuce involved. So I feel like really just everybody understanding your assignment, what you got to do on that one play, what you got to do in your 111. And I feel like that's just really something that, I've been harping on to everybody. If you a dog, be a dog. I mean, there's no shying away no more. We're 1-4. We're going to a tough. I was gonna say tough environment. We're going to a tough opponent. I mean, our back's really against the wall now. Everybody knows, what we're up against. I mean, there's no more media helping us out. There's no more players that's coming in here trying to save the day. It's really everybody that's in this locker room just gotta be a dog and really just handle your 111.
And Torrey, you were talking a little bit about the travel and the difficulty coming from west to east. You did that more than a couple times. What is the hardest part? What's the hardest part though about coming from west to east?
It was awful. When I was in San Francisco, I'm serious. It was terrible. Every single game we played over here, I was sleepy when the game started. They try to have you practice at 10 o'clock on the West Coast to try to get prepared for 1 o'clock games on the East Coast, but you can't simulate a 5-hour flight. Like it's tough, and you do get an advantage by being home and playing a West Coast team, so it's important to get out to a fast start.
What about the fact it's their second East Coast game in 3 weeks? Catches up even more at that point?
Well, it does, unless you're staying out there. Right? It's tough. We've had road trips where we had to stay out, but it's tough. It's not easy at all.
And then I think they're going to London after this game, so they're going to be practicing at Camden Yards. So they're just their schedule's all out of whack. Their routine, very
Routine's
important.
gone. Big deal.
That's a big deal. All right, we're going to wrap up the show when we come back. More Purple Playbook after this.
This is the Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. Now, WJZ's Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank.
And welcome back to Purple Playbook as we wrap up the show. I do want to step away from the Ravens for a quick second because we did have some big news this week. Joe Flacco named the starter for the Cincinnati Bengals. Traded a little in-division trade.
I feel like Torrey's his agent, getting him all these sweet deals.
Torrey, no, we were talking last week. We thought that was it. We thought as soon as he got benched that he'd be done. But
I thought it was over. Is Joe the oldest player to ever be traded?
as long as someone's gonna write a check,
we have to look that up. It has to be. Like he's fully gray out there. But I'm excited for Joe again. I'm not excited for him to come here again. But he has a great chance to play with two of the better receivers in the league, so it's going to be fun to see how it works. The offensive line is struggling, but
that's an understatement.
Joe can start working for the home team too, as well, if he based on his play.
I mean, these have to be two of the best receivers that he has ever played with. I mean,
For sure. For sure. Jamar Chase is an absolute animal. T. Higgins is a beast. I said T. Higgins is going to have a great year with Joe because Joe will put the ball up in the air, believe it.
Absolutely. I'm a little surprised at the move, but I'll tell you what, a little in-division move tells me the Browns might know a little something, so they're okay with that trade. All right, that's going to do it for this week's Purple Playbook. For Isaiah Likely, Rick Ritter, and two-time Super Bowl champion Torrey Smith, I'm Alex Glaze. We will be back next week, not from Jimmy's, the Playbook will be back. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.